I can do as well. The image of Our Lady of Guadalupe was almost a pre-view of the cosmic Christ, as Javier presented, and the expression of Guadalupe is more prominent now to some of us because of the continent itself is still somewhat in a pristine condition, rather as the condition of North America. South America we still think of as kind of pristine and hopeful. So the potential is still there for us to prevent any further destruction, so maybe we can be hopeful in that concept. The Immaculate Conception was very striking to all of us because of the way it was presented as an original beauty within Mary and within creation. And it's a restorative call to restore the beauty of the earth, to reinstate the correctedness of creation in its origin. And those are the two examples that stood out for us. We didn't talk about the how's the word going? Theotopic, because most of us didn't really know what it was, I guess. No, Mother of God was not not presented in our image.
Okay, anyone else?
Well, that's a lead-in for our group. Because the first image that made a lot of sense and inspired us was Theotokos, as Mother of God, meaning Mother of all of life and Mother of all life. And we thought, wow, that really applies to creation. We did talk about the other two images as well in pretty much the same way Anita did. But we first talked about Theotokos as the most inspiring.
We talked about a lot about the Immaculate Conception as the original beauty and how that predates humans even, and helps us to kind of reflect what it must have been like for Galileo, when they took the earth out of the center of the universe and how that shook people up, and this is kind of the same type of thing as we realize today that, the dinosaurs were extinct when a meteor hit, so that could happen. But yet it's all good, and we're all part of this whole thing. I think we're seeing ourselves more as related to the cosmos and all the parts of the cosmos than we did before. We also spoke a lot about Guadalupe. We're all familiar with it, but this really gave us a lot more energy to do more reflection and integration on, exploration of what some of those things. It's so symbolic, and there's so much there for us to say. That's going to leave us for a while.
Beginning of our discussion on this topic, a couple of folks spoke especially about Theotokos and how it meant in their lives. And then I got involved in the conversation and forgot to take notes. So we did talk about Our Lady of Guadalupe. We talked about Servite and the idea of emptying ourselves so it can be filled with others, by others. Anybody else want to speak up to that?
I think your observation on the Immaculate Conception, origin of beauty, was pretty good. You were saying that struck you.
Yeah, you keep going.
No, that was your.
But I think that's fine. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure your contribution got in there.
I don't remember what I said.
You said that you were really moved by the original beauty. That's it.
All right, write it down. He remembers.
That's right.
I'm an old lady.
Anyone else? Okay, well then let's go to our third question. Our third question was, what concrete action
can we take now, which would move us from a person-centered spirituality or ethic way of behaving to a creation-centered ethic or way of behaving? Any insights or comments on that? From person centered to
we really got down to the nitty-gritty of some things that bother us about today's habits of recycling or not recycling, you know, and how do you get people to understand that when you throw this on the ground, when you throw this away in the garbage instead of making it a resource, how do you get to helping those people understand that that is very important, that action is important. So it's everyday decisions, and how are we going to get people to do that? It's re-education or education, you know. It's hard to re-educate somebody. So the conclusion was that maybe the only solution is to wait for a happy death. Some people are never going to change. And then the second part of that, if you can't wait long enough for the happy death, I was speaking with someone in our community here today who said the person that he wanted to talk about was so despondent because the church seemed to be going backwards instead of moving forward with Vatican II. And so he's just really depressed about all that. And this person's suggestion to him was, don't be depressed, just be cynical. And say, well, that's the way it is. I'm going to go to sleep. So our things is re-educate, wait for happy death, and be cynical.